Actually, one of my coworkers is here solely for you.
Really?
Yeah, he told me you guys were coming, and he has a huge crush on you. So.
Does he now?
Yeah, so you might have just signed something for him.
I have a similar statement, and I don't want to, but I'm going to anyway. My 18-year-old daughter would like to know if you'd go to her prom with her.
If I would go to her prom?
Yes, you take her to her prom. However, she doesn't know that she's asking you that right now.
Oh, she doesn't know. Now,
correct.
Where does she live?
Right here in Illinois, actually. It's a very small town.
Now, prom for me was a long time ago. I can't even remember when prom is. Now, when is that date?
I can definitely get you some hard details.
See, if we had hard details, Dad. If we had hard details, maybe.
Taylor, this is my fault. See, this is why your father. This is why. Yeah.
I tried to help. I don't.
He tried to make it. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to guess April.
It's April-ish.
Ish. We're still in Atlanta. Till mid-April.
Mid-April?
So you might be okay.
Ish.
You might be
so
okay.
there is a possibility, but if your dad knew an exact date, maybe we could.
So close.
But that window's still open.
See, Taylor, I don't suck completely.
No, you tried. You got A for effort. A for effort. You have an awesome dad.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt. We can make that happen.
Are you going to be available? I mean, the show seems to be doing pretty well. So is season 3 a lock?
There should definitely be a season 2. Yeah, there's got to be a season. I don't see us going anywhere. And CW Network is really behind the show, and we're doing really well for them, and it's great. Yeah, everything's good.
When you were first auditioning for the part, did they give any hint that they were going to take your character into a supernatural route? I mean, because pretty early in season 1, it was
right. Well, I had like skimmed through the books and found out like later. I forgot which like chapter it is, but where he turns into a werewolf, and I was like, oh, I was surprised, but I never brought it up. And then like in between season 1, because Tyler's storyline was kind of non-existent. There wasn't any big arc really. He was just kind of one note, very angry all the time. And so I asked, well, okay, it's only going to get interesting when we do this whole werewolf storyline. And then I was told that's not going to be until season 2. So just had to be patient. But obviously, you saw, in this season where we're at right now, it's been a lot of werewolf stuff. So it's been great. This season's I've enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun to play.
Any hint to when your character's coming back?
When Julie Pleck, our awesome, amazing executive producer, when she sits here, that's what you have to ask. But when you do, you have to like whistle at me so I can hear. See what she says.
We'll video it.
Because right now, yes, there you go. Because right now, there is no set date or even episode when I'm returning. But I would bet that at least by season finale, Tyler would have to make some kind of appearance. So,
nice.
Or it's just a waiting room right now.
There you go.
Yeah, but I'm confident.
Good.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
Now, did you realize what kind of fervor would be behind this show when it first started off, or did you go into it kind of thinking, well, this is a cool gig and it's going to be nice, steady work, and I had no idea that I'd be going to Comic-Cons like this?
I'll be honest with you, and I've said it before, is when I had got the material for the project, and I was like, the Vampire Diaries, I was like, really? True Blood, Twilight, like, come on.
Right.
And then it was like, Kevin Williamson is attached. Okay, CW Network, which used to be,
right.
WB with Dawson's Creek. And all
exactly.
That. And I knew the people, the team around it, our producers, were very, established,
right.
And had amazing careers. So I knew I wanted to be part of it. And at the end of the day, anything having to do with vampires right now, especially in pop culture, there's nothing, and none of it has failed, really. All of them has been fairly successful. So I had to jump on it.
Yeah.
Luckily, everything worked out.
It's kind of the hot button right now.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't see it going anywhere. And what I'm kind of basing that on is how many Twilight movies still need release.
Yeah, exactly.
So, as long as they still keep making those bad boys, I'm not mad.
There's 2 more to go, so I think there's plenty.
2 more, yeah. So and I know they're going to spread those out. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Okay, so speaking of who wins the fight, you or Locke? Be honest.
Me. 100%.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that. I don't want to get too into it.
Well, because I'm betting on this fight, so I need to know.
Put your money on me, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, his wolf is still kind of like humanish and tempered. Your wolf seems to be a little bit.
He's a little more. Yeah.
Very primal, man.
And our transformation is a lot different. I don't jump in the air and transform mid-air like into this big, huge wolf. So it's more realistic, and I think there's more
It's funny.
intimidation there.
It's funny you say your transformation into a werewolf is more realistic.
It is. I'm just saying.
Based on the science.
Right? And then, I mean, if you saw the werewolf transformation episode, I mean, it's a
Absolutely.
brilliant thing, and it's nothing you want to really go through, and that's, I think, the way it should be.
That's pretty hardcore, man.
That was one of my favorite episodes of
Really?
season 2.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that was tough. That was tough. We shot that over 2 days, 2 back-to-back 14-hour days, and it was really tough. I mean, as far as me as an actor, I've never been more, just challenged. Really, I mean, it was great to get through it, but man, it was rough because I was just so vulnerable. Like we're shooting in this tomb, and like we had an amazing crew. It was like a close set, but at the end of the day, I'm there for 14 hours, like half naked, just going nuts, really. And picking up all these bits and pieces that we needed to grab while we were filming. It's grueling.
I imagine that's a
it's
difficult process.
It really was. It really was. But I had an awesome director in Marco Siega, and just studying and preparing for it. Hopefully, I don't have to go through it again to that extent. But it was fun. Very challenging.
Hopefully the next transformation, a little more jump cut.
Yeah. Cut to a little thing that's not you gonna keep them there the whole time.
Exactly.
But,
I mean, how do you do that mentally? Is it like you just imagine that you're being forced to listen to Michael Bolton?
Oh God, you just.
He nailed it, didn't he?
I had to go to some real, dark places. But I was, as far as like, now that you bring up music, I mean, I was listening to some heavy metal stuff,
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah. And then it got to actually some lighter songs that really meant something to like my parents, or that reminded me of my parents and little things like that. So there's a lot more to it mentally that I don't even want to say, but it's, to get there, it was your mind's going crazy, so into some real dark places.
So dark.
Speaking of, did you get a hint that basically, like, the show was going to be on a darker vein right from the get-go? I mean, because, like, from the very first episode, we got sex, drugs, death.
Right, no, I had no idea they were going to, push that much, especially in the first season with my character, because he was just such an asshole. And
What?
So it was
No.
Get out of here.
No.
And he was just so cruel to Vicky. It's like, all right, be mean to like the other guys in high school and anything like that, but to be that mean to a girl, that's kind of bad and ruthless. So, but we did that and then brought in drugs and everything like that. So that's what makes it edgy and good, even though we're on the CW.
Because it is pretty dark and edgy, like you said, and when you were talking about first reading through the material, and you were like, oh, this is gonna be a vampire show. This is gonna be like kind of a team-based thing.
And then I knew nothing of the books, but then even the title was like Vampire Diaries.
Right, because I've heard it said when I've told people that my daughter watches it. That's how I got into watching actually, and I've heard it said, well, I watch that show too. It's actually better than I thought it would ever be. And I'm like, man, I find myself not watching it just as with my daughter going, okay,
right.
When is it? And I'm like, he did what?
Well, and these books came out, way before Twilight. They came out in '91, and we strayed away from the books. We took these characters and built our own little world, and I think that's one of the main reasons why it's been successful. Because it's not that L.J. Smith, what she wrote, is like outdated. I mean, she wrote an awesome novel, but Kevin Williamson and Julie Plec, they just came together and built this whole different world with these characters, and it's been edgy and up to date, and everybody's into it.
Hey guys, last couple questions.
Okay, not a problem.
So quiet over there. Why?
Tyler and Carol.
Yes.
Are we going to see more of them?
I hope so. I would imagine they, whenever Tyler does come back, that his first, interaction would be with Carol, and then there's that whole dynamic of, because now her and Matt were very close. So I'm hoping that they get back together in some, even if it's not a romantic thing, that they stay best friends. Because after she's with him the whole time in that transformation, I don't see how they can not be close and be friends. I just
The
don't see it.
werewolf vampire thing.
Well, that's why it needs to happen, I think, because it's just, it's like that's not supposed to happen. So we need to make it happen.
You must
Dude,
be
I just
still
noticed
pretty
your
pissed about
watch.
the
Dude, I know, right?
being tortured thing and you doing nothing about it kind of thing. So.
Right.
Your watch is awesome, dude. I mean, I'm like,
It's actually not even a watch. It's a timepiece. It's kind of just like a jewelry piece that my friend and a jeweler got together, and it's called the Infinity Piece.
look at that.
And it's supposed to be that like time's infinite, just live in the moment. And nowadays, like I don't know about you, but like when somebody asks me what time it is, I won't even look at my watch. I'll pull out my cell phone.
Right.
You know, so it's
Yeah.
like people wear watches and buy expensive watches, not even tell time, it's just to show off. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
There you go.
Still micro.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, man.
Guys, take care.
Thank you.